It is still International Women's Month, and today in our live webinar interview, I'm very, very much privileged to have Shahzalina Ghazali. Before I put her on stage, let me speak about what we're doing and why. And for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Wandalin Tankalupig. I wear many hats. I'm a wife, a mother of two, corporate trainer, business mentor, auditor. But really, one of the most important roles I play is the startup founder of Working Moms Academy. After suffering from burnout in 2014, I made it a life mission to help other mothers who are suffering from stress and burnout through training, coaching, and community of moms helping each other. And because it's International Women's Month, every week I am interviewing many ladies and women, especially mothers from different countries. Last week, I had an interview with Janice Villanueva. She is the founder of Mami Mundo, a company of 20 years who is also helping communities of mothers in the Philippines. Today, I have a very, very special guest, Shahzalina Ghazali, and let me just read her short bio. And this is very important because Working Moms Academy is all about education because I believe, and as Nelson Mandela said, education is the best way to change the world. I mean, when I was undergoing stress and burnout, really education is the one who saved me because it taught me how to relive my life and really change my overall well-being mentally, physically, emotionally. So let me have a short introduction about Shazalina. Shahzalina Ghazali is a multi-award winning educator who has touched the lives of her Facebook students and also Facebook followers of 8,000 plus. Wow. She has gained nationwide popularity ever since she gave free online classes to her students from all over Malaysia during the lockdown on COVID-19 last year. And it's almost 1 year. We just had a conversation and she said in Malaysia, the lockdown is like a year ago already. Tomorrow. See, and she has really gained so much following because of her passion and commitment to continue teaching her students. Besides teaching, Shazalina is also into charity works. In 2018, she started School Food Bank, which focuses on helping underprivileged students and their families by providing them the basic necessities like food, books, and school uniforms. Shazalina is also a writer and blogger. She writes about her real life experiences as an educator and about being a working mother. In her website, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, sikgusha.com. With that, I hope you help me welcome Shazalina and let me bring her to stage. Shazalina, thank you again for saying yes.
All right. Thank you
Today.
very much, Wanda, for the chances to speak to your followers, to the followers of Working Moms Academy. I am very honored.
Yes,
Thank you very
Shazalina,
much.
I know Shazalina is joining us from Malaysia. In Malaysia, it's already what time, Shazalina?
It's 9:30 sharp at 9:30 p.m.
Wow, see? And I want to first honor and thank you really for this opportunity to interview you. I know a lot of mothers, working mothers specifically like me, can learn a lot from you. I have here a set of questionnaires, which
All
also
right.
came from other mothers. Because I joined I'm into a lot of mommy communities and I asked them, what is the question you want to ask other working mothers? So let me go straight. Let me just ask you, did I pronounce that website correctly? The
The
Shik-
website
yeah.
is cikgushah.com.
Shikgusha.com. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me start with the first question. What
All
is
right.
your favorite part about working?
What is my favorite part about working? It's a mixture of feelings actually. Maybe I should share with all of you that I am not really. When I was young, I never aspired to be a teacher.
Wow.
Exactly. But what I aspired to be an engineer. I wanted to become an environmentalist actually. So that's what I aspired to be. And then some things happen, along the way. Well, and I, well, I got this particular course, which is electrical engineering, but it comes with education as well. So I was puzzled. What is this electrical engineering that has to do with education? So what I found out was that I am going to be a teacher teaching the subject of electrical engineering. So since I have no other options, I just like kind of like force myself to go through it. I didn't see it coming actually. So I kind of forced myself to study all this whole thing. And fast forward to graduation, I still remember. At that time I was already married, so but I had no kids. So I told my husband, you know what? Since I got scholarship, so I got tied down to a 4 year contract. So I told my husband, right after this 4 year contract, I'm just going to quit teaching and I'll be looking and to do some other things. So but along the way, towards finishing that 4 years contract, I just realized that now I understand why God put me in this path. Because if not, I would never know that I have that gift of teaching. I have that gift of touching my students' life, their hearts. I managed to work with parents. I mean, it sounds kind of not. It sounds kind of like bragging, but I'm not humble bragging, but I realized that I work well with parents of the students. I work well with the students, and after many years, I realized that that was actually the calling, the true calling, my true calling. So the best part of working is I managed to change people's life, and it's more than just engineering. It's more to human engineering. I'm producing human with good moral values. Okay, besides teaching what's in the syllabus, what's in the textbook, I also teach them the correct way on how to live your life, how to be a good human being. So I think that will be the best part of my work.
I love that, as I mean, as a profession, I'm also an accountant, but I found my calling and my passion in training and coaching. It's all about education, right? I mean, when I've seen how my students, their lives have positively changed because of what I imparted, I mean, there's so much joy beyond words and happiness. And I'm very happy to hear your story from engineering to teaching and being an engineer of human life, right? Which is very good. So thank you for that. I think for those who are, really thinking, am I on the right career? At some point, Jazalina is correct. We plan something, but God brings us to something. But always that path is always beautiful and better than what we originally planned. So
Yeah.
let's move to the next question. What are the challenges that you faced throughout the journey and how did you overcome them?
Oh, wow. um, Definitely, my first challenge is to change my mindset on to love teaching, to love what God has sent me to do. It was hard. I think that was the hardest part. It's not about dealing with human being. It's not about dealing with the office gossip or backstabbing. It's more about fighting that particular mindset, trying to change your mind. It's like if God give you problem, it's actually opportunity. Actually, if you look at it, every problem comes with an opportunity. So yeah, changing that mindset that this is the path that I should follow. This is the career that work best for me, my family, and to the rest of the people. When I become a teacher, I realize that I have more time. I have time for people, for my students. At the same time, I have ample time for my family as well. I have time. I never like use transporter to send my kids to school because I will always have time, that flexibility to, to arrange my kids, to do the arrangements and stuff, school, tuitions and whatnot. And another set of maybe another challenges would be trying to because I am a quite sensitive person. So sometimes
Mhm.
when people talk bad behind you, backstabbing, those office gossip, the politics and stuff. So
Mm.
trying to change my mindset that don't think about it. do something else. Focus on your work instead. Don't talk. Don't think about any other things. People can talk, but it's up to us actually to do the work and to focus on our job. So that will be my set of challenges, and um, just trying to change the mindset. I think that that's the hardest, the fighting within you, the fight within you, your emotion, your mental state and stuff. So yeah, I think most of the working moms out there also face this thing. Sometimes when you have problems at work, you tend to bring it home, right? You tend to bring it home, and sometimes because we are human being, we have emotions. Sometimes we, as much as we try to control not to bring that problems home, but since we are human, sometimes our kids became the victim. So that is also one of the the biggest thing that I have to try. I had last time. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it answers my questions and it resonates to me in many on many levels. I mean, when I'm stressed at work, I agree with you. Sometimes, you know, we tend to carry the stress to at home and then we pass it on to our children without us knowing it also. So and I think I love what you said where you said every problem is an opportunity. And if you are really, if there are people who are gossiping behind you, you are correct. They can always gossip, but focusing on what you do best will bring, I mean, massive positive change. And I mean, by the way you have changed, I mean, the way you did online schooling, I want to hear your story. I mean, how did you shift during the pandemic? I know during the pandemic, the schools were closed and everybody needs to be now, do online schooling. First, it was very tough for me as a mother because my kids doesn't know, how to use technology, Microsoft Teams and all. But fast forward to the day, it's easy now. But how did you cope up during the pandemic? Because not only, I mean, your experience as a teacher and also as a mother, how were you able to handle the change?
Yeah, it would. I mean, believe me, I believe every single parents, every teachers, everybody who have kids were having this problem because everything happened so abruptly. We were not given a warning on what's going on. So there were not much manual on how to do online classes, what will be the best apps, what will be the best software, what will be the best approach. It's more to try and error. So
True.
along the way, some people, if you are persistent enough, you will find your your own method, and your method may not be the same as other people's method. So and it's easy to get what should I say, overwhelmed, because sometimes I mean, I still have that, I'm guilty of doing that. I keep on comparing myself with other teachers. When this teacher are using this particular advanced software, and be like, oh my god, I don't know this. I mean, I feel like I'm left behind. But at the end of the day, when I talk about this, I used to talk about it with my husband, and he said to me, why not you just focus on what you can do? Okay, if you can do, you can use Zoom. If you can use this, you can do that. Just focus on that. Why do you have to compare yourself with other teachers? They may be good in that, but you are good in here, in this particular area. So trying the first month of pandemic, I didn't know how to reach to my students. So I started with my Telegram channel. So I asked the PTA, Parents Teacher Association, the committee, to blast about my channel to their WhatsApp groups. Tell the parents that I have this channel. The students will have they can connect with me. They will have an access to the notes, to the series of exercises. And while doing that, I was also looking for ways how to reach to the students. So I had between Google Meet and Zoom at that time, and also WebEx. If I'm not mistaken, it's Cisco WebEx. So after trial and error, Google Meet, WebEx, and Zoom, I started to use Zoom, and I use Zoom until today. And when I started like what twice, I think twice, online classes with small groups. And when I gained my confidence, I started to advertise it, and that's how I started to get more followers online. and more students from all over Malaysia. I had it all the way from other states as well come and join my online classes. So that particular um, you know, it's all about mindset. When you look at it, it's all about mindset. Are you able to adapt with the changes? Are you flexible enough to go through the changes, to embrace whatever is coming to you? Do you look at it as a problem or as an opportunity? So that's how I think about it.
That's very good. Be flexible with the changes and stop comparing yourself with others. That's very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Shazalina, for saying that. Okay, let me bring myself to the next question. So, how do you handle the constant interruptions and distraction by the kids?
Well, honestly, my kids, since my kids are like what last year, one my boy was 11 years old, my daughter was 17. They had their own online classes. So since I only have two kids, I didn't have much trouble with my kids interrupting me. Um, I am very blessed to have obedient kids that um, when I have online classes, they allow me the time to really give, to really give my 100% focus to my online classes. So not much interruption, thank God.
That's very good. And I think, what I want to tell other mothers, when your kids are already on that certain age, I mean, there will really be, I mean, now my kids are 8 and 11, and I've seen them more independent. I mean, compared when they were younger. So I think if your kids is from 0 to 7, your kids are still highly dependent on you. But after that, you can see a lot of more space for you to breathe and relax. And especially if you're, I mean, for your case, your kids are already older, so thank God. Okay, let's move to the next question. How do you balance work and family? This is the number one challenge of most mothers. I heard most mothers tell me, Wanda, I don't have time. I wish I could buy time. How do you manage family and career?
Well, honestly, I wonder if I manage to balance work and life. I mean, we there's no manual on this. There's no one-on-one manual to how to balance life and work. It's always about trial and error. There are times when I focus too much on work and I left behind a bit my family, and I ask them to handle it on their own. There are times when I have to slack off from work and pay attention on my family. So to find balance is actually hard. It is until today. I mean, I've been working for 19 years, and still I've been thinking on how to balance work and life. But when your kids are getting older, okay, when the kids grow up, as you said just now, you have a bit of space to breathe, to focus on yourself, to focus on work. So I think that is how I feel right now. So um, I believe all mothers out there, you just have, if you have small kids, I believe maybe you should focus, say, 60% to your family and the kids and 40% to work. I guess, I mean, as I mentioned, I don't know actually, but when the kids are smaller, it's always natural for us mom to put our priorities on our kids. And when they grow up, and when they are becoming more independent, then we will focus a bit on ourselves and on our achievement to work. So if you ask me, when my kids were younger, I just yeah, I went to work. I do my best as a teacher, but that's it. There were no charity works, not so much on charity works involved. um, I just do the things that I needed to do.
Mhm.
More efforts were given to my kids, but as my kids grow up, I started to focus on other things that I like. For example, I'm starting to work. I started the food bank. I started with the um, other things that pique my interest. I have more times to do things that I wanted to do. So I think it comes natural to all mothers out there. You just have to give it some time, and you can't make it perfect. there's nothing such as perfect mom or a perfect work-life balance. It's all about trial and error. What works for you?
I like that. I truly agree with you. There, I think when you accept and embrace the imperfect mother that you are, then you are on the right track. Because first, motherhood doesn't come with a manual. You don't know whether you're doing it right or wrong. You know, balance is something that you don't really know how it is and how it's defined. So I think you are very correct when you say it's always a trial and error. What works for you, but also from my experience, you are correct that when the children are smaller, you have to focus on giving your time with them, taking care of them. Now my kids are older, and I think I was able to do more things. Like I even was able to do Working Moms Academy, interviewing people, doing live webinars, training and coaching because I have more time now. And I have this agreement with my children. Mommy will have dedicated time for you, but let mommy also do some work that will give mommy joy. So it's always a negotiation. You have to prioritize what's required, and work life balance is always what is perfect for your situation. I'll say that. So let me move to the next question. Let's talk more about yourselves. So, what motivates you and what keeps you going every day?
What keeps me going every day? I have written, I mean, you give me quite a set of questions. I think I have written it somewhere. You see, I have booked. So, but I do not even follow this. Okay, how do I motivate myself? I think we should start to appreciate what we have around us. I believe both me and you, we are very lucky to have healthy children, healthy family. We do not have to to face problems with terminal illnesses and stuff. Believe me, I mean, I'm 43 this year, and at my age now, my husband's 51, I'm 43, my kids is 18, and another one is 12. So at my age right now, health is wealth. So
Sure.
I, I am very grateful that I am blessed with good health, and my kids are blessed with good health. Everybody's around me is blessed with good health, and that is already brought me so much happiness actually. Dealing with, I've been seeing friends with terminal illnesses and whatnot. So
Mm.
that actually sometimes it scares you, and it also made you realize that you are very blessed to have good health. A little bit of body sore or fever is normal, but we are here. We are talking about that kind of sickness. I mean, cancer problems here and there. It scares me. I mean, until today, actually. So because when my son, oh, I forgot to tell you, when my son was around 3 months old, he had this fever, and his fever was so different. I never saw that kind of fever before. So my husband was working. Uh, where he was working in another state, all
Oh,
right, and it was around 400 kilometers away from us. So I
wow.
had to deal, yeah, I was like kind of like a single mom, should I say. So I was dealing with a 3 months old baby. My daughter was 7 years old at that time, and I live alone. I'm not living with my parents. I live alone. And when my son was sick, I was like, what happened? So at that time, I went through the internet, I went through Google, I key in the symptoms. You know what? It brought to two conclusions. It's either
Uh-huh.
kidney infection or meningitis. And
Oh
I
no.
told you, I was so devastated when I sent him to hospital. They said that he was down with meningitis. I broke down. I totally broke down at that time. So I had to call my husband. He had to make that emergency leave. He had to travel 400 kilometers away, 400 kilometers to come and see us. But during that time, I had to handle everything. Got to admit my son to the ward, send for blood tests, and those things, like it was very if you ask me, it's very frightening. It was a very frightening experience to me, because meningitis is between a 50-50 chances of whether you are okay, your son will be, your baby will be okay, or your baby won't be okay. So it was said, the doctor said that the bacteria was already at his brain lining, and he was lucky because brought him to the hospital fast. So I couldn't imagine what happened if I am like, what, 2 days late, 3 days late. What would happen to him? I couldn't imagine that. But thank God he's now 12 years old, healthy, have no other health problems. So that's why I value health the most. That will be the one that motivates me every day. And also, as a teacher, when I go to school, when I saw my students dealing with social a lot of problems from family, they were from socially challenged background. I count that as my blessing as well, because I didn't have to go through that, and because I didn't have to go through their challenges, I must help them to overcome their problem. If they don't have books, I try to make sure that they have enough books. If they don't have nice school uniforms, sometimes they come to school with torn uniforms, or very very bad looking uniforms, that looks quite old and worn. So I'll get them uniforms. If they don't have if they don't have bags, school bags, we have school bags. That's why we have that food bank for. And I try to help them in any way I can. So that keeps me motivated every day to come to school, to come to work.
Thank you for sharing that. For those of you who don't know, Shahzalina has a food bank charity where she supports students who are struggling, providing them with their needs, be it uniform, school clothes, food. And for those of you who want to support the cause that she's doing, please get in touch with her on LinkedIn or Facebook or Telegram. I am posting here the way you can connect with her. But I think whatever you're doing is very noble, and really health is the best wealth, and I'm very glad to hear that your son is okay. I think health is something that we forget to count as a blessing, but being alive and healthy is really one of the best gifts that there is. Okay, let me move to the next question. What is success for you, and how did it change over time?
What is success to me? I think success to me is when you are doing what you are happy with. I am not, I'm not a hard person to please. Actually, I'm a very easy person. Very easy, simple, straightforward. If I manage to do things that I like, and people around me support, my family support me, and support me along this journey, I am, to me, that is already success. Being happy with what you're doing is already success. To see your family healthy and happy is already a success to me. Seeing that those people that I help manage to change their life, or perhaps the students were problematic ones manage to see the importance of education, and they change their perception of
That's good success. I think, sometimes we have complicated the meaning of success, but you've put it in very simple words that success is happiness, and it doesn't have to be so grand. It's about being happy, seeing your family, being happy, seeing your students succeeding, and understanding the value of education. Okay, we're almost finished. This is another very important question. A lot of mothers, even in the morning, I attended a session about working moms, and a lot of mothers feel the guilt. They feel the guilty of being an imperfect mother, feeling guilty that they are working and also not giving time and attention to their children. How do you overcome mom guilt? What do you do to overcome that?
Okay, talking about mom's guilt, I believe every mom has this um, particular phase in their life where they're like having this kind of guilt, especially when you are trying to you when you're trying to hit for perfection. You want to find that balance. You want to be good in at work, at the same time you want to be that perfect mom at home. Well, what did I do? Okay. Yeah, let me tell you of a story first. When my kids were younger, I think around my when my daughter was around 7 years old, my husband and I, we had a business. And of course, when you had a business, what you're trying to do is, of course, you want to make money, you want to be successful. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a full time work. My husband had a full time work, and at the same time, we had a business and we have kids to take care of. I do not have maid, so it
Wow.
was it was hard, and I didn't know why did I choose to have that business. Because at the end of the day, I had to close down the business because due to trying to find that work balance is very hard. So I was guilty of bringing my kid to to the shop, to the shop where we had our business, trying to settle problems and whatnot. I had problem with staff. I mean, staff. My staff wasn't that competent, so it became such a burden at that time. I was mentally exhausted. I was emotionally exhausted. I forgot to pay attention to my daughter, actually. So my daughter, when she was around at the age of 8 to 10, even she told me at that time she felt neglected, and yeah, I was guilty. I feel guilty. So what I did was I tried to catch up. I mean,
Mm.
yeah, it may not be the same as the time that I wasted, but I try to catch up. I try to be close to her. I try to be her best friend. At the same time, I mean, as a mother, I also try to be her best friend. I pay attention, more attention to her. We closed the business, and I think that was one of the thing that one of the thing which is helped me to be back on track. So I accept life as it is. As much as I wanted to be successful in business, so I have to accept that this maybe teaching and motherhood, being a mother is the best for me. So I focus on that. I focus on that. So I just tried to catch up. My son was very small, so I believe he didn't remember. But my daughter, she still remembered how she felt neglected when we were so busy trying to juggle so many, trying to juggle so many responsibilities at the same time. So the best thing we could do is try to catch up, spend quality time with them. It doesn't matter. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. When you talk to them, you really pay attention to them, because I believe all the modern parents are so guilty on. I mean, I still do that. Sometimes when they talk to you, you just be answering messages and stuff. I mean, I am guilty until today, but when they try to pay attention, when they are talking to you, pay attention to them. That's the best thing I can think of. They want to be heard. Your kids needs to be heard, actually.
I can relate to that. I think up to this day, I'm still guilty. I think every mother is always guilty because we have that perfectionism, the kind of mother you want to be. But also, I agree with you. Catching up with your children is one of the ways, and it could be many things. It doesn't have to be a big amount of time. You just have to spend quality time every day. It may be 5 minutes or 2 minutes of just pure attention, of giving them your full ears and full eyes, just listening to whatever they want to share is another very powerful thing. I mean, I'm always very busy throughout the day, but before we sleep, I try to really don't bring any cell phone, just speak to my kids, listen to them, and catch up. And that is always very, very powerful in terms of connecting and reconnecting with my children. So for those of you, you don't need a lot of time, you just need some focused time to be with your children. Okay, let's go to the last question, because the Working Moms Academy is all about helping moms succeed personally and professionally, because I believe women don't really need to leave their jobs. They don't have to choose only family. They can have a family and a career however they want to. What are your 3 tips for mothers and women to succeed personally and professionally?
3 tips. Oh wow. Okay. For every moms out there, remember that, as I mentioned just now, do not strive for perfection. We are just human beings. We are not prophets. we are we are bound to make mistakes, but do not dwell so much into the mistakes. You will learn from it. So, with, as I mentioned just now, with every problem comes opportunity, and one of the opportunity is the opportunity to learn, to be better, and you just do your best. You just do your best in everything that you do, be it in motherhood, be it in work. It's actually possible to do a lot of things. Not when you become a mother, it doesn't mean that you just have to stay at home. Or when you become a working mom, it doesn't mean that you just have to focus on work and you forget about your family. Um, I am able to do everything without the help of me. It's just between me, my husband, and my kids. When they grow up, they know their responsibilities. My husband know his responsibilities, so we work together as a team. So um, I believe communication with your partner is very important. The
Hmm.
most important thing, you must have that understanding between each other. You can never make it work if you do not have understanding between you and your partner. Say that if you do not have partner, then maybe you need some sort of a help or support system. It could be your family, your immediate family, it could be friends, anybody who are willing to be there for you. Support is very important because we are human being. We work, we are we work, what should I say, we are interconnecting with everybody around us. So we need help. I mean, as I mentioned, we are not perfect, we need help at times. So, and another tips would be, um, always be grateful with what you have. Always be grateful. Sometimes when we think that we do not have certain things in life, but actually some other people will actually they are dying to have what we have.
Hmm.
So and always take care for your mental health. Mental health is such a huge thing nowadays, especially after the pandemic happens. Everybody was talking about mental health everywhere.
Hmm. You gave a lot of wisdom already. See, I'm typing it on the chat. That's why I'm very busy. So you said communicate with your partner. Actually, you gave more than three. Communicate with your partner to make things work for you. Get support from your family and friends. Be grateful for all that you have. Take care of your mental health. I fully agree with you. I think mental health is, they said, if you can win the battle in your mind, half of the battle is done already.
Exactly, exactly.
So,
That's it.
so can you share lastly, sorry for, what is your mental health tip? How do you take care of yourself mentally? So at least people can learn from you.
Well, um, I love to read. Actually, I
Um,
love to read. So when you read, you get to learn other people's idea, their way of solving problems, the way they look at things. Maybe the way they look at things is not the same as the way you look at things. So you manage to look at certain situation in different view. So I'm a thinker. Sometimes I can be someone who overanalyze stuff. So in order for me to take care of my mental health, I try to relax. Okay, at the same, I read and I think, but not, I try not to overthink, and I relax. My and also my ex student, she sent me this essential oil, and she taught me about diffusing essential oil. So lately I've been diffusing essential oil. I think essential oil kind of helped me to feel more relaxed. And when you have the time, go for something. Go and pamper yourself. Perhaps go for manicure, pedicure. I love pedicure. Or perhaps for foot massage. It helps me at least for that particular 1 hour of foot massage. It allows me to really relax. Maybe a bit of take a nap and really enjoy my alone time. Alone time is very essential for all moms out there. Whether you're a housewife or whether you're a working mom, you must have your alone time sometimes.
See, you gave a lot of tips also. Thank you, Shazalina. She said, see, good. go spend time, go have an alone time, whatever that means to you, be going to the parlor, reading a book, having essential oils. I think it is all about finding what works best for you and what do you really
Exactly.
like to do at the end of the day, because that will fuel your energy, that will keep you positive. So Shazalina, can you just please invite other people who want to support your cause of the food charity bank, and can you just tell more about it and how can people reach you?
Oh, okay. So let me share with you. Food bank. In okay, that is in English. Is that's in English. In Bahasa Melayu, in Malay, we call it. I call it gerobok rezeki. So gerobok means cupboard. Rezeki means all kinds of good things that can come to it. So basically, food banks. So make it easier for the international listeners. So it's food bank. So it's not only food bank, but it also helps my students in terms of the food during to have proper food during the recess time, and if their family are short of groceries, we also provide them groceries, but it's only a one off time. It's not like all the time, but when they need it, we always have it, and no question asked. If you have if they have problems, perhaps they just can come to me, can come to school. We have a, a, a special cupboard where we keep all the groceries, the necessities, the basic necessities. We also provide them with as you mentioned just now. We also provide them with uniforms, school books, bags, anything that they need, so that they can come to school and study like any other children do. So well, I also helped my students to get some gadgets during those during the pandemics. There were students who are from urban poor family. They didn't have gadgets, they didn't have internet connection, so I managed to get them gadgets with internet connection as well, so to make them to make sure that they are not left behind when we have these online classes. So if anybody would like to reach out to me, to perhaps you want to help my students, you can always come to my Facebook, can message me anytime, and I'll be very glad to to help you to connect you with my students who may be in need of help.
Sorry, my microphone was mute. Thank you again, Susalina, for saying yes to this interview. And for those of you who wants to support her cause, it's called Food Charity Bank, but it's all about supporting students with their everyday needs, be it food, laptop, uniform, books, or anything else. Reach out to her if you want to support this cause. And I want to honor you and thank you for this great work that you're doing. And thank you so much for today. Have a great day. Thank you everybody for watching. If you're watching this live or on replay, thank you for watching Working Moms Academy's live interview. Watch out next week. I am interviewing a CFO from Germany. She is a 20-year CFO in Citibank, and it's an honor and privilege to have her next week. Thank you, Shazalina. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.